and worse. Talk to me in general. I'm not going to lead you with any question. Tottenham in general, go. Like, what do you think?
Oh, the mess. The thing is a complete mess. And you opened up this stream by using the word amateur, and I've never seen such an amateur manager than is Ange Postecoglou. The man is out of his depth. He is tactically naive. He has no plan B. You look at him on the touchlines. He's shaking his head repeatedly, looking at the floor, but it's more than that. And all of those people in the summer, when we got rid of your Ndombele's, your Lacelso's, your Sessegnons, your Eric Dyers, we cleared the decks. There were people within this fan base who were happy that we'd signed Bergvall, Archie Gray, Timo Werner, and then the only forward that we signed who would actually contribute to the first team picture straight away, Solanke. So actually, the writing was on the wall as early as the summer, when we had a paper-thin squad which lacked any talent, and there was nobody that could come into the team straight away and lift us above what we'd achieved last season. So we never added a second goalkeeper, so we were going to be reliant on a 36, 37-year-old journeyman in the event that Vicario was injured. We have no plan B in the fullback positions. So what you're actually saying is that all of those mainstays in the team were pretty much guaranteed football week in, week out. They were unopposed. There was no one pushing. There was no one challenging them. They didn't have to up their game through fear of, am I going to get selected next Saturday? Of course you were. And then you look at the actual players. Nobody has been coached. Nobody has improved. There's not one player you saw play 18 months ago compared to now, and you think, wow, they've come on leaps and bounds. Everybody's regressing. Everybody's going backwards. Then you look at the midfield. My God, how much space and time did Nottingham Forest have yesterday to play through that midfield? Then you look at the wingers. Sorry, guys and girls, if this is going to upset you, but Son should be nowhere near a Tottenham shirt at present. No. 33 next year. What does he offer? He offers absolutely nothing. Then on the other side, Brennan Johnson. He looks in fear of a football every time he sees it. Yeah. And then in front of him, you've got Solanke, through no fault of his own, came into the club on a hefty price tag. Is he a £65 million footballer? I'd suggest not. But it is what it is, and we've just got to get on with it. So there's two things. It's the squad, it's the lack of managerial capability, and the whole project. We love that word, project. It's regressing. We're now 9 points off the relegation battle and 10 points off the top four. So we're closer to one end of the table than we are the other. And unless we change things up quickly, we're going to sleepwalk into a relegation battle, because our squad is not good. And based on the statistics that you'll pull up, we're nowhere near what we should be doing. The whole thing is a joke.
How do you know I've got statistics ready? How would you know that?
Because I know you're that type of guy, and you like a statistic to support a statement. But the whole thing yesterday was a joke. Like, Udogie, how far away from Milanga was he when he broke for the goal in the second half? That's not unique to Udogie. He does it week in, week out. And then you look at in the second half, when Dragusin, who's a very average, poor footballer, to be perfectly truthful, when Dragusin's oinked off, we're left with Archie Gray and Yves Bissouma as our centre-backs for a Premiership club that in the Deloitte World Money Leagues is the 8th biggest club in world football. The whole thing's a joke, isn't it? It's pathetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and listen, Adam Hines, we're going to probably talk about this in a little bit. I know Chris has got something to say on this, so Adam, don't you worry about the looking backwards. We will do. Look, as the show goes on, I will bring up some facts and stats, Chris. I'll tell you what baffles me is, you know, when you think to yourself, right, well, another defeat, and surely people will wake up, right? And you think, well, another defeat, surely. And we've had another, surely. This is the manager where it seems like it's never ending, mate. You know, I'm trying to think of a good analogy to liken this to. And I can't at the moment, but it's literally, I don't want to be clichéic, but I'm going to be. It is the definition of insanity. Like,
doing we're the same thing time and time again. Yeah.
We're losing game after game doing the same thing. And still fans go, oh, but injuries. Oh, but the first 10 games of last season. And you're like, how long are we going to do this for? I want to, Chris, what I want to start off by talking about is the number of defeats we've had, if that's all right with you, Chris. I want to talk about the number of defeats we've had because, first and foremost, call me old-fashioned, Christopher. Sorry, I love calling you Christopher. Yes, Richard. I call me old-fashioned, but the league table is the table that doesn't lie. So whatever anyone says about manipulating stats, the league table doesn't lie, and the league table is comprised of three things only, really: wins, draws, and defeats. Right?
The only thing the only thing that matters is wins, isn't it? It's a wins-based business. You're judged on your performances.
Of course. So if I'm going to show you, first of all, I want us to look at the league table. This is the current Premier League table. Let's start at the top. I don't know why we're nowhere near it, but let's start at the top. So if we look at the league table there, we can see, I mean, straight away, we are 19. I'm not talking about winning leagues, by the way, Chris, so please don't have a pop at me here. We're not even halfway, or we're one game away from 50% games played, and we are 19 points away from Liverpool. This time last year, I just want to I don't know if you know this, but this time last year, we had 37 points. So this time last year, we would have been second.
So Tottenham, after 18 games last season, 11 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses, 37 scored, 24 conceded, 37 points.
Do you know what you'd love from me right now? Is if I did that and put it on the screen, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and there you go. There you go. So yeah, and then Tottenham after 18 matches this season, 7 wins, 2 draws, 9 losses.
Right.
How can you justify that?
First of all, I'll come back to this in a minute. Thank you for the Spurs Express. I'll come back to that in a minute. The worrying thing for me in all of this is very much the fact that we've lost 50% of our games and we've not even won 50%. I don't know. I reckon that the win percentage is 42%, 43, something like that. 7 wins from 18. Somebody in the chat will probably be able to work that out in more detail for me. But the worrying thing here, Chris, is we're 19 points away from the top. And if we then scroll down to our true position in the league, here we go. If we look down here, right, you look how many points we are off of Leicester City, who are the third team in the relegation zone. We are 9 points above the relegation zone. Now, don't get me wrong, Chris. I don't think we're going to be in any danger of relegation at all. But teams that we were miles above, West Ham, Man United, Everton, Palace, are starting, that gap starting to not be as big, Chris. And even Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have put 2 wins together.
2 on 2, yep.
And then play us.
With a third on Sunday.
The question I'm going to ask is, at what stage do we stop doing the whole, well, we're only X amount of points off top 4 and actually go, hang on, we're down with the Evertons and the Palaces of this world?
There's something you've got to be very aware of, that word, we are never too good. There is nothing to suggest that we are any better than the likes of Wolverhampton Wanderers, West Ham, Crystal Palace at the moment, because at least they have managers who set them up to win games. Look at the new manager bounce at Wolverhampton Wanderers, 2 wins in their last 2 games. You've got Ipswich Town, similar to Luton Town. They are trying to make the most of a limited budget, but they've got a guy there, Kieran McKenna, who came to White at the Tottenham Stadium, did a number on us, walked away with 3 points. Yeah. So you've got to be very careful what you say, because you don't know how the transfer window will go for those teams at the bottom of the table. They know the massive finances that they lose if they go down into the Championship. So it's worth a gamble to keep those clubs active in the Premiership.